Monty here. My next video, I did one previously about this stove right here, and I today was out here trying to experiment more and kind of play with this stove to see how it works and everything. And curiously enough, the way this thing is set up, it sits down in this bowl here, and then you've got this windscreen that goes over that. Anyway, I went through the whole process before, but what bothered me about I was testing how long it took to boil water, and this opening on this, ooh, that's still hot. This opening on here is bigger than my kettle, and I didn't want to just set it down on the burner. So I'm going to try different approaches here to try to speed up my boil time, but also to protect my pot there. So I had these little screens here. I could set over there like a grill plate, and I think that would work best. So what I did was I primed up the stove and everything, and got her fired up. Then I had this diffuser plate that I use with my Omni oven. I thought, well, that'll fit perfect on there, and it was set good and all that. So I put that on there and I fired it up and put my kettle on there and went on about my business. But it took it about 7 minutes for it to really start boiling. But what I think happened here, this is a pressurized tank stove. So that tank has to build up pressure from heat. And so you preheat it, and the more pressure heat it gets, the more pressure it gets, the more pressure it gets, the more it comes out of the wherever it can come out of. And so I had this diffuser basically covering up the top. Now it does have little holes in it, and it's multiple plates and everything, but what I wasn't thinking is that's going to generate a whole lot more heat than something like this would. So in the 7 minutes that it was sitting on there and I wasn't paying much attention, it got so heated that it began to, I guess because it was pressurized, was keep on, it's going past this, around the fuel cap. Let me get it out here. Wow, that baby's still kind of hot there. Around the fuel cap and around down here, it was beginning to gurgle and in flames, big flames. Anyway, so I'm like, oh, no problem. I'll just cut off the, you can see where it got the fire source, the air source, and it'll go out. Well, so I put this over it. Of course, it didn't go all the way down, and plus, it's the windscreen's got all kinds of holes in it, so that wouldn't put the flame out. The key, even though it wasn't plugged in, was so hot that I couldn't really get it up there to turn it. So I guess what I'm saying is that don't play around. You gotta have an open space. You gotta be aware of what's going on. So that means you gotta pay attention. Then you need to have recourse to what you do in a situation like that. You don't want to pick it up and throw it or anything, but it would be nice to be in a space where you could walk off if you had to as a last measure. But what ended up happening was I got the handy dandy kind of long handled pliers, and I turned the fuel down to cut off the main burner, but as I was saying, under my theory here, that it was continuing to build up pressure. So what I did was I would turn it back on to relieve the pressure, then turn it off and turn it on and turn it off and turn until I got it the pressure down enough where I could just turn it off. And then when I turned it back on, it wasn't hot enough that it would flame up again, so I could turn it back on and let the pressure out. It actually, this minute ago when I picked it up, the base was real hot still. I mean, even the burner wasn't as hot. Anyway, I'm gonna continue on with letting the pressure off of this thing. I bet that didn't help my gaskets any at all in there. God, there's no pressure on it now, that's for sure. But anyway, so I had handy dandy pliers. I didn't panic. I just set this stuff off, the water. I used a little tool to keep from burning myself. The diffuser, set it aside, took this top windscreen off where I could get to it. And so read all the instructions, be prepared for any situation. I had the similar thing happen. This is also a pressurized stove that I did a video on. And then I was going to do a video on actually running it. And it works basically the same way as this one does, in that you just open it up here on this end, you fill it full of fuel, and you have this little thing as a kind of a stand for it, and then you've got a little windscreen thing like that that you can put over it. Anyway, there's a same thing, a needle, throttle needle, and there's an orifice in this. And what happens is you put your fuel in there, it preheats, it builds up pressure, and then you preheat this coil here, and it starts the cycle of making pressures. You open up the throttle a little bit, and where it's just barely dripping, it will flame. You can turn it over, anyway, it's a little stove. Anyway, so I went out in the backyard and I have a wood burning grill plate area out there where I grill. This rock is pretty safe area. Anyway, I put this thing on there and fired her up, and it didn't pressurize, but I just had flames coming out. And so to turn the thing off, you have to well, there's actually a tool that looks like a little screwdriver used to turn this wheel down. I also have some really cute little channel locks and pliers. Anyway, you turn that down, and it closes the orifice, but you still have pressure in here. So what happened out there was it flamed off. I had welder's gloves on and all kinds of stuff, and I couldn't get that closed enough to do it. And I said, well, they call these also a board bomb because of the flame up deal. Anyway, so I thought, well, that's what it's going to build up enough pressure. This is pretty hard steel here that it's going to blow up. So I basically went inside and let it burn out. But once again, you know, you can't be too safe, and especially with these old stoves that are lanterns or fuels or camping or anything really, any kind of equipment, tools, what have you. You be prepared, be alert to what's going on, and always have a plan just in case things get crazy. You know, if I'd had something on here cooking, maybe not so much just boiling water, but like, let's just say I had some, a pan on there with some bacon or something on it. It could get out of control. You can knock it over. If you're in a high burn area, you could have a fire start that way. You could burn yourself. You could burn your equipment up. Generally ruin whatever trip you have. But anyway, just a heads up, especially with these older pressurized things. I don't doubt there's people out there that really know exactly what they're doing. They have a safe environment and are responsible to do it. But if you don't know, you don't know. And so anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Half Full Monty out.